Okay, we are getting through the first little section of the new Yashahime anime. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it has been set for 24 or 26 episodes, and this just wrapped up episode 6, if I'm not mistaken, so I would say another episode or so and we'll start getting to the real meat of things. But this episode was another, I don't want to say laid back, but it wasn't a super intensive, like, overbearingly dark episode. There were little dark elements to it, naturally, but it was a fairly laid back, light-hearted episode with some really good action in it. It was kind of like an old school Inuyasha episode, in my opinion. Main case in point being when they're riding on the bike down the hill, and you have Motoha just standing on top of the bike like Inuyasha would do sometimes, except she's singing, or what she calls singing, while listening to the iPod. I thought that was hilarious. And then they, crash and break the bike, which makes me ask this question. If we're trying to do this whole, obvious little parallels here to, the journeys to a degree, we know that the bike is broken, and now we've seen how it became broken. Then what if they get the bike fixed, and the only person, to our knowledge, in this world that would know how to fix the bike would be Kagome? Just throwing that out there. That could be their way of subtly pointing out that, hey, Kagome is coming. Maybe. I'm hoping so. At some point, you gotta introduce them again. You know what I mean? But, anyways, the main gist of this episode was mostly just fighting off some of these evil ghost cats. They run into that girl after they get the assignment from Jubei. First they asked Jubei, it's like, hey, you know anything about Dream Butterfly? And he's like, nah. Just ignore the fact that I just, took a long pause and forget you asked the question. Oh, by the way, because then Motoha's like, hey, do you have anything useful then? He's like, yeah, there's these people, this village that keep disappearing, whatever. And so he sends them away. So some people are asking, is like, does he know more than he's letting on? And I think he does. Because, we saw the last time he sent Motoha out. First of all, we still don't know why Motoha's in debt with this man, or if he's kind of like the middleman between who she's in debt with. But, he is using her as a form of bounty repayment through what she acquires for him, and from what it seems like is taking payment from her for something. So that's suspicious for whatever, we don't know what she's done. And on top of that, he has this knowledge of all these demons and shit around, and he even has knowledge of the four perils, or at least he has knowledge of one of the four perils, but he doesn't know anything about the Dream Butterfly. I don't buy that for a second. He at the very least knows something. If he doesn't know the entire story about it, he at least knows something. I don't believe for a fact that he doesn't know anything. The man knows too much about everything else going on in the damn world. That's just my suspicions. But yeah, they go on, crash, nearly kill a little girl, and then we go back to where, early episode where Cessna's like, hey, if I bring all this stuff to the past, won't that change history? And then she starts giving this little girl chocolates and stuff. Thought that was kind of funny and neat and little, change of her character to the more carefree, like, hey, who gives a fuck, live in the moment kind of thing. They go into the village, and then we find out that these ghost cats are possessing these people. So they throw ham, or throw hands. Throw ham. Not really. I hate ham. They throw hands, beat the cats, and everybody returns to normal. And then they go up to the temple, and they meet this monk. And Toa mentions that it looks a lot like her sister. I think her name's Marie in the modern era. It looks like her favorite idol. What was it, Julian or Julian? Something like that. I'm pretty sure it's Julian. But how they look similar, minus obviously the bald face and the monk robes. But he, you know, you can tell from the get-go that something's off about him. But it raises this point into something I mentioned in one of my earlier videos. Is, are we going to have some kind of butterfly effect at some point? And is that mayhaps what we are seeing leading up to the first episode? Because in the first episode, if you remember, outside of the part with Inuyasha and Kagome, because I don't think they showed that obviously for nostalgia purposes to pull people in, but I also think it's serving something to the story. Because I don't think they just put that there and they're not going to show them again. I think something's happened where somehow they've altered something in this past that is going to have some kind of ramification that has led to the situation where Sesshomaru is inside the sacred tree where the Rin and Kagome and Inuyasha are missing, and Moroku is walking by himself, and, you know, Kohaku and them didn't know who in the hell Inuyasha's daughter was, but yet Kaede does. There's too many questions for there not to have been something to have happened to possibly have diverted some kind of timeline. Dragon Ball Super, Trunks, Future Time arc doesn't make any damn sense. Bullshit. That's just my opinion on this. Something I think something, some kind of butterfly effect has happened. I think that Toa mentioning the ancestor thing over and over again might be a subtle foreshadowing, and I could be way off base here, but that I think that might be a subtle foreshadowing. But they keep playing off on the fact that Toa isn't meant to survive in this world yet because she wasn't able to sense the demon smell in the town, and then Setsuna's talking about how the whole temple is full of the demon scent, but she mentions that the monk smells like a human, so she don't know what's up. So they pretend to fall asleep, and then, interesting enough, Setsuna mentions that Toa's energy's leaking out, and they don't really reapproach that afterwards. But I'm kind of like, so we're gonna get some kind of like demonic energy control kind of training or something in the future. That would be kind of neat. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been a long time since I've seen, and even longer since I've read the original. So I don't really recall much of any kind of like use of that, like where energy would leak out and such, the way it did in this episode. So that seems like it might be a new concept or something. Might have something to do with the rainbow pearls, which we still haven't gotten any real answers for. I'm assuming that's something that'll be diverged along with the 4 perils. But, yeah. That I thought was an interesting note for sure. But then the ghost demons attack. They take care of business. Then the monk dude comes in. And he's like, what happened? Because I don't know what's going on. And then he doesn't. Because we find out that he's actually later on possessed by the main cat demon, but he doesn't really have any, well, I don't want to say he doesn't have any cognitive function or idea of what's happening, but it might be one of those situations where, like, he doesn't really remember things that happen when the demon takes over. But, you know, this big ass fucking demon attacks outside when they're sent underground to investigate this legend of these bones underground. When they do, it releases the cat spirit, or the ghost cat spirit. And it looks a little bit similar to Kilara. I can never say the name right. Kilara. You know who I'm talking about. I have a picture on the screen. It looks like Sango's cat. And, you know, they try to attack it. Nothing happens. It keeps regenerating. Toa's inside protecting the monk. He puts up a barrier. When she tries to go outside to help, turns out that the monk dude's actually evil. Well, he's possessed. And we find out that when he got there, he went to kind of like release the spirit to the afterlife, and the spirit actually used that as a means to take over his body, being a, you know, a douchebag piece of garbage. And yeah, he just kind of took over his body and let him live so that he could, you know, do his own plans. And I talk a lot of shit about Boruto, except for the manga. As I said before, the manga's fire. But if you read the manga, it's a lot like what happened with Ishiki. Is it Ishiki? I forget. The big guy they're fighting right now, who took over Jigen's body as a monk back thousands of years ago or whatever, and then lived inside of him. That's kind of like, not to the same length of time, obviously, but lived inside this monk's body until, obviously, Toa and them showed up. And then Setsuna senses that something's wrong, so she goes in there and tries to get in, but she can't, because Toa is obviously not wanting to kill the guy, because it's Toa. And so Motoha shoots at it with her sacred arrow, destroying the seal. Then Setsuna gets in there, and then this is really the only real problem I have with the fighting in this episode, is Setsuna's getting ready to throw hands and kill the guy, and she reveals that you see a little paw thing grips into his chest as the spirit taking hold of him. And Toa doesn't want to kill him because she saw the human monk spirit take back over earlier in the fight, so you can kind of understand where Toa's coming from. But the two of them turn, basically they're tired, the whole back's on the enemy, and start arguing with each other. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Dragon Ball? I love me some Dragon Ball, but you know, they'll talk for hours on end while the villain's standing there with nothing happening. That's what this felt like. They're sitting there discussing what's happening. Setsuna dogging Toa down about why she isn't cut out for this world and why she needs to just end the dude and stuff. And it's like, could we just, like, any smart villain would just, like, Naraku? What do you think Naraku would have done? You got to turn your back on Naraku, you cats would be dead right now. Just saying. It'd be a wrap. Alright? Aizen, you'd be dead right now. You know, Madara, it's a wrap. Just saying. Any legit villain? Frieza? You don't have to turn your back on Frieza and it's a wrap. So yeah, I found a little bit of problem with that. Kind of irritating. But once that was out of the way, Toa was able to reminisce to her fight with Roothead and how she was inadvertently able to drain away the energy. And so she tapped into that knowledge in a pseudo Deus Ex Machina ass pull and stab into the monk's chest with her energy blade, absorb the evil spirit away from it, and save the monk. I will say it was slightly foreshadowed earlier in the fight outside when Miyoga, I think is his name, Flea Dude, when he said that Inuyasha could use the Tenseiga to take away the evil energy. I want to say it was a Tenseiga, or did he? Because he never got, since Shishomaru kept the Tenseiga, right? Pretty sure that's how it went, because Inuyasha got the other one with the ability to slash dimension or whatever. If I was wrong on that, correct me. But yeah, it's mentioned how Inuyasha could steal away the demonic energy and save the vessel, it being the human. And so, in that regard, it was slightly foreshadowed, but unless, like, I just feel like it was kind of out of nowhere, and that would have been something really cool for them to have learned from either one of their fathers, or from somebody who knew their fathers, or some renowned legendary fighter, or for some intense training. It was just kind of like, okay, here's this really cool ability. Here you go. Go ahead and take it. Game Shark. So yeah, those are that and the turning her back on him is the only two major problems I had with the episode. Other than that, it was fun, hilarious, great. Because after that, everything goes back to normal, and Toa goes back to mentioning how, grow up and be the ancestor to this person. You have no idea who the hell I'm talking about. And then he's like, "Pardon me?" Because now he's picking up the phrases that they had used earlier. They picked up in the modern time. And then they get back, and then Juby, or whatever his name is, like, "Hey, I'll give you 15 for this head." And then they start arguing about it, and the episode pretty much ends there. So yeah, not a whole lot happened other than the realization that Motoha does indeed, in fact, know her father to some degree, as far as she's not taken aback that, hey, my dad had great power, so she knows that. And to the tune that Toa now has a badass, albeit somewhat of an ass-pull ability. We'll see where that goes. Though, the one thing, albeit I'm kind of upset with my obvious opinion that I think is pseudo ass-pull, I do like how it kind of plays on Sesshomaru's abilities to heal that he always hated, which we know eventually he came to utilize that when he fell in love with Rin. Deny it if you want to, he did. But in the opposite, Toa is the kind of person that embraces that, because earlier in episodes she mentions she wants to hunt demons to help people, and then Setsuna and Motoha are like, it's a job, you don't do it to help people. So it's kind of cool to see how she's got these somewhat pseudo qualities of her father, but she does them for the reasons that her father never really embraced until closer to the end of the series, when he actually found something he really, really cared about in Rin. So that's what I'm really liking about Toa. I mean, Motoha is the most interesting character, because obviously it's Inuyasha's daughter, Kagome's daughter. She's fun. She's hilarious as fuck. She's a goofball. All that good stuff. But I do find Toa at the moment to kind of be my favorite, only because I like the mystery surrounding her and connection to Sesshomaru. Because you can tell she's Sesshomaru's daughter from the looks, but you can tell that Setsuna is more the looks of Rin, but the personalities are the complete opposite. Setsuna, to not have spent a lot of time with her fucking father, acts like her damn daddy. And I guess, and for Toa to not have spent any time with either one of them, she acts more like her mom. So I find that interesting, and I'm just interested to see more of what she's gonna do when they finally do meet Sesshomaru. How that's all gonna go down. But yeah, it's a fun episode. What do you guys think? Do you think this Juby dude's hiding something? Do you think he really knows what's going down with the Dream Butterfly? Our preview of the next episode shows them about to throw hands on another of the four perils, so we're getting closer and closer to maybe finding out some answers about the Dream Butterfly and hopefully these rainbow pearls. Which girl do you like? Who's your favorite? What do you think about Setsuna's new ability? Was it an ass pull? Do you agree with it? What do you think Motoha's in trouble with the money collectors for? And do you think Setsuna is onto something when she says that Toa is not ready to be able to survive in this world? She has to do some more training, which would have been a perfect time for her to learn something like this ability to absorb, because it'd be like, hey, you said I'm not ready for this, so I went off, bust my ass, did all this training, and now I can save people my own way, So how do you think that's gonna turn out? Obviously she's not gonna die, but it could lead to something down the road. Drop a comment, throw your theories out there, like the video, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.